Hey, YouTube world, it's Kirkpatrick. Thanks for stopping by. This is a pretty deep video today, so hang on to your hats. It's got to do with this fireplace here. And that man right there. Yep, that's my father, my daddy. Yeah, born January 9th, 1923, died December 28th, 2011. Great American. Well, I know everybody brags about their fathers and their mothers, but I'm going to brag about mine tonight. If you want to hear about it, hang on. It's got a lot of interesting twists and curves. Sure does. Anyhow, yeah, Daddy was born up there between Murphy, North Carolina, and Chattanooga, Tennessee. And his birth certificate read Tigger, Georgia. He was born at home, of course, and then they had to travel to the nearest courthouse to get a birth certificate. It ain't like a hospital where they issue one. You born at home, then a couple of days later, after the baby sucking on the mama, and then, okay, we got to go get him a birth certificate. So Tigger, Georgia courthouse, wherever it was there, issued him birth certificate. Anyway, my daddy growed up hard in the mountains up there. My grandfather, his daddy, worked at a lumber mill, doing lumber, logging and lumber. And anyway, he was the oldest of 4 boys. And Spud is trying to steal the show tonight. I'll tell you what. Anyway, let's get on with the story. Don't click off me yet. Now, there's more stuff to come. It's gonna be good. I'm telling you. Anyway, he's the oldest of 4 boys, and then the Depression hit. They closed the lumber mill down. Granddaddy couldn't find a job, and everybody was going to California or going out west, and so my granddaddy went out west. He told the family, I'm going to go out west, find a job, and I'll send for you. And that's what they done back in them days. They, travel to find a job, and then they send for the family once they got established. So that's what he did. But the ironic thing is, the last known action of my granddad, John Frederick Kirkpatrick, was in Oklahoma. And that's why I'm attracted to Oklahoma. For whatever reasons, karma or whatever it's called. But I don't know where the letter was postmarked from, but all I know is John Frederick Kirkpatrick got a job with the CCP in Oklahoma building breaker dams on creeks. If you ever watch Orange Family Homestead, you know Daniel's Creek has got what's called a breaker dam. Pulls the water back, but then when the water, to keep it from flooding, it goes over the dam. Breaker dams. And that was the last known communication my family had. And as far as we know, he died there. And boy, it's hard to do this. Buddy, you all right there, bud? I know. I give him a bath, and he's a scratching and itching, He's finding new spots. No, anyway. Hang on, I'll be right back. Alright, we're back. Yep. Yeah. So Oklahoma was the last place that my granddaddy was ever heard from. And to this day, it holds a special part in my heart. Anyway, every time I'm out there, I go check out all the cemeteries. See if I can find a grave. Hadn't yet. Anyhow, it was the Great Depression and everything. Then World War II hit. Yeah, it did. And my daddy got called up to serve. And that's what he done. So he left. Grandma and 3 kids, they rocked on there. And Grandma died. And 3 kids went to a lady named Miss Murphy's. Back then, people took people in. Miss Murphy took these, 3 young boys in and helped her on her farm. Anyhow, that's the way it was. Anyway, Daddy joined the services. They put him in the Army Air Corps, which is what today is the modern Air Force. And they shipped him to Idaho, for training and all that. And to San Francisco and caught a boat. Next thing he knows, he was in Papua New Guinea. The Marines had been there a few weeks before to clean it up, to invade it, get rid of the Japs. And Daddy's crew was building an airstrip so we could land planes and refuel. Anyhow, Daddy never would talk much about what happened in the war, but I got digging in those cedar chests and I seen Daddy had got 2 bronze stars. And so I asked him one day, I said, Daddy, what these bronze stars about? He said, well, it wasn't really nothing. And I said, well, what was it? He said, well, he had built the airstrip and everything, and I was on patrol one night, and patrolled the airstrip. And this is going to be difficult. Hang on, guys, I'm sorry. Doggone, we back. Oh, my buddy finally settled down. Anyhow, let's see where I picked this story up at. Yeah, so he was on patrol one night at the airstrip in Papua New Guinea. They seen this grass mat looking thing. They pulled it back. And 2 Japanese in there, down in the hole. They'd been spying. Had a radio fending back, And one of them reached for a gun. Daddy pulled his 45 out. Said boom, 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 boom. He was not a person to kill anybody. He didn't have to. He shot down there at the feet. Hit both of them in the foot. And of course, wow, you ever get hit in the foot with a bullet, you're done. It's time to give up. Anyway, he got 2 bronze stars for that. He never bragged about it or anything like that. But anyway, that's what happened. And so, the war rocked along and all that. And he stayed down there the whole time. Australians were there too. That's one of the closest islands is to Australia. So Australians helped invade it. I remember Daddy telling me a story about they give them these Thompson machine guns, 45 caliber, and the Marines that went in before them had them M1 carbines that shot little 30 caliber rounds, so about size 357, and they wasn't automatic. They pick boom, 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 boom. But the machine guns that my daddy had, they were full-blown Thompson. Boom, 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 boom. You ever heard of 45 go automatic? You won't forget it. It's a boom, boom, boom. Anyway, Marines got ready to pull out, and they swapped weapons. The Marines had to go on to these other islands, the Marshalls and the whatever, Okinawa and Iwo Jima. And so they swapped. So they said we had a pea shooter. He said, but it was all right. There wasn't no Japanese left. So having the pea shooter was all right. But anyway, war ended. Daddy come back home. Somewhere at Fort Gordon in Columbus, Georgia. Anyway, so where they decommissioned them and said goodbye. Here's your little check for your money. Daddy traveled to Macon, Georgia. That's where he met Mama. That's Mama right there. Yep, 94, fixing to be 95. She's still kicking. She's here with me right now. Anyhow, so Daddy trying to find a job, and he met a guy that owned some bakeries in Kentucky. Here's where we get to the fireplace, okay? Man, I wish my dog behaved tonight, but I don't know. Must be a full moon or ain't one or something. Anyhow, so Daddy took this job with this guy. He wanted somebody to, he must have saw a lot in my daddy, because he wanted somebody to manage 3 different bakeries he had in Kentucky. One in Lexington, Louisville, and I forgot the other town, but anyway. So Daddy and Mama moved to Lexington, Kentucky. My daddy overseen running these bakeries, and that's where I was born, Lexington, Kentucky. Yep. Anyway, the little house they rented in Lexington, Kentucky had no heat other than a fireplace. And Lexington, Kentucky can get kind of cold. There's no air conditioning, but that was just coming around in 1955. Anyway, my daddy had to go around to all these bakeries and make sure everything's going good. It's 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, all the way to 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But that fireplace is what kept him warm and safe. Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know what to do about that dog. He needs a female. Anybody got a female dog you want to send me? Anyhow, he just so much loved that fireplace and get home and sit around it and just enjoy the warmth of it. So he finally saved up enough money. Him and Mama penny pinched every dime they could and saved up enough money to where they thought they could open up their own bakery. And Mama, being a Georgia girl, and Daddy being somewhat Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee guy, so they come down to Georgia on a little excursion trip, and they found this little town, Milledgeville. Didn't have no bakery in it, never had one, and decided they, we'll take our $20,000 we saved up. 1956, that's when we moved here. I was 1 year old. They decided they'd make a stab at it. A lot of money. And he did. He was very successful at it. So when he got, we rented, the first place we was in, we rented the bottom apartment of one of these old antebellum houses. Sorry, another interruption. Phone call. Oh, it's hard to do this one. It's hard to get this one in there. Too much going on. But anyhow, so when my daddy, we rented the bottom of this old basement of the old antebellum house. It was musty, and I don't know, I was 1 or 2 years old, Then we rented a house on Dole's Boulevard it had pear trees, peach trees. It was a nice little place. But it was cold. Good Lord have mercy. That house wasn't insulated. It had these little gas heaters, you know. I think it was one in our room. All of us boys slept in one. It's 4 of us boys, by the way. Me and 3 others. We all slept in this one room. I remember hanging my blue jeans on a coat hanger on a nail above the gas heater so they'd be dry. We had a washer and no dryer in. I want clothesline in the wintertime. Anyhow, we did what we had to do. We growed up, you know, tough and rough. And more of them pears off that tree show were good. And the figs, oh man, old lady across the street, Francis, I can't remember her last name. Man, they had a big old fig tree. I love figs, man. She'd come over there and say, "You want to get some figs?" Yeah, we'll go over. Yeah, my belly be hurting, eat so many figs. Anyhow, then Daddy finally, you know, got the business going, made enough money. We're going to build a house. And this is the house right here we built. Daddy built this house for $24,000 back in 1964. And one of the things he wanted to make sure of was he had a fireplace just like he had in Kentucky. And this stone right here come from Kentucky. That's Kentucky stone. I don't know, it ain't granite like we have here in Georgia, but he made sure he had his fireplace. Yeah, he did. Because the good times was back in Lexington, birthing us boys. See, there was 2 ahead of me. And then the other one, the last one, he got birthed here. But that fireplace meant a lot to him. It did. And that stone come from Kentucky. I don't know what you call it. But anyhow, this was Daddy's fireplace. And to this day, every time I look at that fireplace, I think about him and what he did. He ran a successful bakery for 25 years, sold it to the man that worked for him, even though he had offers almost double what he sold it to JW for. He's true to his word. He told JW, "You ever want to buy the business, I'll sell it to you." JW popped up one day and said, "Yeah, I'll do it." And they made a deal. And he's a man of his word. More money didn't register with him. It's being honest and truthful. He's a man of Christ right there, I guarantee you. Taught me a lot of things. And this old fireplace right here, man, if it could talk. If it could talk. But anyway, I'm sure all y'all have got stories about people in your family. But I thought I just had to share this one. And I apologize for all the interruptions. Seemed like the ghosts were out, wanting to haunt me here. It's been a story I've been wanting to tell for a long, long time. That man right there, that is a true American. I guarantee you. He knew right from wrong. He walked in Jesus. And he's very successful. Very successful. So, there you go. Story of Howell Kirkpatrick. That's my daddy. He's with Jesus now. God bless y'all. Thanks for stopping by. I know it's a long one and choppy, but appreciate each and every one of you. God bless you. It's Kirkpatrick. Adios.